right, good evening, everyone. We just now got the 11 p.m. update in from Hurricane Irma, and it's not too good for the west coast of Florida. Let me talk about this. Right now, the eye is actually, as I showed you, just about on land in Cuba right now, which is actually a good thing. Not for Cuba, but it actually will deteriorate this a little bit, I think. But look at the winds. They've come back up to 160 miles per hour. Now, here's one good thing. It's still moving to the west, which means it's moving towards the landmass, which is not good for the health of this. The intensity should come down just a little bit. What happens is, as it gets closer to land, especially by the eye, there's friction. The wind going around this has no friction over here over the water. But when it hits the land, it starts to slow down with that friction. That'll make the storm that's going like this kind of twist. And you'll watch it dive down to the southwest a little bit. You see that? That little jog to the south is because of friction. And that's actually, again, a good thing because that landmass hopefully will try and break it up just a little bit. This is a satellite and radar. So we're getting the radar now from Miami. We're seeing the outer rain bands, and you can see the steady rainfall, of course, the outer rain bands that are moving over towards Miami now. The eye is about 35 miles wide. It's 120 miles now, east-southeast of Cabarin, Carolina, how do you say that? Cabarin, Cuba. It's moving to the west at 13 miles per hour. Pressure's 924 millibars. So it's still a strong storm. Here is the latest track. This has shifted to the west. And what that means is if it does end up in this area right in here, it will stay over more water. It will be a stronger storm towards Fort Myers, Punta Gorda with 130 mile per hour winds. That is it's Cat 3 to Cat 4. It's right there on the edge of that. And then it moves right up I-75 over Tampa, and then eventually Monday night it loses its strength. So it won't be a Cat 4 over Tampa, but it will be a good Cat 2 as it comes through at this particular point if this happens. Now, this cone means the center can go anywhere in here. So it is possible still that it goes out here. This is error over the last 5 years. This is not having to do with what the models are saying right now. This is statistical error from the Hurricane Center. It's likely to stay along the coast, if not come back towards the west. Now, most of the evacuations that we have now are level A. If you live in level B, you need to know your zone. If you live in level B, you need to be watching this because this could prompt some level B evacuations if it goes further offshore. Because if it comes out here over the water, it's going to give us more onshore winds, on the backside especially, and they're going to be a little bit stronger, and that could mean a storm surge event as it moves by on the backside. Afterwards, it'll move up to the north and the west. Now, there's a close-up look at it. Here's the new line from the Hurricane Center. And I put this line on here so you can see where it should be going according to that forecast track. If it doesn't turn northwest soon, it may end up down over here, and that's good because that shifts this line this way, hopefully. However, if it does that, then the shift out into the Gulf of Mexico by us happens again, possibly again. So that may even move further to the west. So there's kind of good and bad in this right now. Hopefully Cuba will take a little bite out of this. Okay, look at the size of this, 420 miles wide, maybe even a little bit more than that. That's more than from the state line down to Key West. And if it was sitting over here, certainly we're only 135 miles wide or so. Now, here are the forecast models, and you can see them turning and much more consolidated on the west side of the state. Okay, we don't even see anything over at West Palm at this particular point. So Tampa in the center is like right here. So you see there are a couple models out in here that are west out into the water, and there are actually a few more, but it looks like now, and because we're closer in time, they're getting more agreement between the models. We're going to get a new Euro model coming in at about 2 o'clock this morning, so we haven't seen that one yet, but that'll be interesting as well too. So you can see here it does get up into Georgia, Tennessee, and kind of falls apart as it runs into this big high pressure system. So
yeah,
you know, this is it's going to be more. So now what we're talking about is Naples, Marco, certainly getting a big hit from us, but also Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte. You're going to get more wind.
Sanibel, Captiva.
Absolutely. I mean, right over Captiva now at this particular point.
That's tough.
Sanibel.
I think it was Cabarien, if I'm not mistaken, was in Cuba. So we do have a lot of Cuban American viewers, and I'm sure they want to know about that.
We have gotten an incredible amount of questions from people on social media.
Yeah, one of the biggest ones, Bobby, for all of us has been, how do I protect myself from these high winds when they pass over my area?
Right. Well, number one, if you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of there because if you have a hurricane warning, and they're going to probably be stretching north. We haven't received those yet. You can't be in a mobile home. It's not strong enough to handle some of the gusts that are be coming through there as well too. Number two, stay away from windows, obviously. Board up your windows if you can, But if you're going to stay in a house and you don't have boards on your windows, try and stay in a room that has less windows, especially when the wind's really blowing. And you'll hear it. You'll know when it's coming. And this may likely happen overnight more than anything else. So please sleep in a room that has fewer windows.
Even if it's your interior bathroom.
Yep. Yeah. Pick up anything around your house. You got time to do that tomorrow. It'll get breezy throughout the afternoon, but pick up anything around the outside of the house. Plants, pots, anything like that, because they will become projectiles potentially when the high winds get there.
Absolutely. Bobby, thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.